Hello and welcome. My name is Shelly Hendricks, if we haven't had a chance to meet, and I'm the president and founder of Blue Horizon Solutions. Thank you for joining this call today. I'm happy to have you here, happy to see your face. For those of you who are joining live, we are recording this session for later as well for future playback. So let's jump right into the session, and I'll share with you a bit of some material I've been working on for you. And just this is January 2024. We're doing this session, Setting Strategic Vision, as the first of a series of webinars on topics related to your personal, professional, and business growth. And so we're here to offer these monthly webinars. Please check out our website to see the whole schedule as well. So for today and for January, our theme is on setting vision, strategic vision for the future. So that's what we have for you. As we jump into this, I wanted to share with you a little bit of information about my company, Blue Horizon Solutions. This image of the drop, the water droplet, is symbolic of what Blue Horizon Solutions means. And this is about the intersection between sky and sea, where there's endless possibility. If you look out at the horizon, the edge of the ocean, and you see where that point on the horizon where the water meets the sky, it's endless possibility. And so we think of our work with leaders to help leaders create a positive change for future generations and for a better future. This is what it's all about. So everyday interactions that you have with people and the environment and the planet around you leaves an impact. And that impact over time becomes the legacy and how you'll be remembered in the future. And so we want to make sure that the leaders we work with are being intentional and authentic in the way they approach their everyday interactions so that they can leave a more positive impact. So this is our mission. We'll come back to the mission in just a moment because this is part of the strategy. So let's just jump right in. Our objectives for this conversation today, by participating in this workshop, these are some things that you can expect to experience in our time together. So first of all, I want to give you an opportunity to envision a brighter future for yourself, for your personal, maybe your family and community life, but also your professional and career development. And if you are an entrepreneur, small business owner, small business operator, I want you to be focusing on your business success for today as well in our conversation. So I may be referencing examples from both business context, but also from personal life experience. And we know that the two are intertwined, aren't they? And fully integrated. So I want to give you an opportunity also to reconnect with your own mission and purpose. Again, for yourself, for your professional growth, and for your business. So what is your mission? What is your purpose? And how can you best align with that in this new year? Strategic goals we see as coming out of the priorities, come out of the mission, vision, and values, which is that strategic plan that you might have for the year. So this is what we're exploring together in our time together. So drafting an action plan will be one of the outputs. And what I'd love to see now is if you take a moment and just drop into chat, what would make this conversation most meaningful for you in our time together this morning? Go ahead and drop that into chat and I will read those off. Excellent. Reconnecting with your personal sense of ultimate mission. Fantastic. Okay, getting some new direction on your mission for your business. That's great. Yeah, understanding priorities for your team and for your business. Fantastic. Components of a great mission statement. Excellent. Love to see that. Okay, you're in the right place. That's great. Thank you for participating in that way. Let's move us a little bit forward. I wanted to share with you, this is a slide that I use in our Business Builder Masterclass. And so this is when we do the business plan, when I help leaders to create their business plan, this is the roadmap we use to guide us through the material, guide leaders through, guide our clients through writing their business plan for the first time, revising it if it's been a little while or they need to revisit it. And I wanted to point out that this box called business development is where strategic vision lives and resides for your business. And so it's one of the first things we do in the process of writing your business plan. And then, of course, we know that all of the other marketing and operations and administration, finance, and so forth all come out of why are we building a business in the first place? So that's what we're here to do in our time together today. All right, so if we double click into that box, you see here that the business development comes the next step in the process is looking at what is the strategic plan for your business. And again, I'm going to use business, but I want you to think about your personal life, your professional life as well, and because they're all integrated. And when your personal, professional, and business success are all aligned and connected and integrated, then the levels of motivation and satisfaction, inspiration are significantly higher for leaders who have that alignment. So again, I'll reference all of those, but for this purpose, we're focusing on your business, and I'm going to use that language for the purpose of our conversation, but again, keep those other domains in mind. So mission, vision, values, goals and objectives, and priorities. These are the components of a strategic planning model. And this is how we teach that business development. When you're forming a business, it's important to get really clear on in your mission. Why are we doing this? What is our purpose for this business? When I first started Blue Horizon Solutions, for example, my purpose was to bring corporate learning and leadership development principles and practices into small businesses, medium-sized businesses, and nonprofit organizations where they might not have access to learning and development resources that corporations do. And so we wanted to bring the best practices of the corporate world into the smaller businesses, the medium-sized businesses, the mom and pop shops, and so forth, family-owned businesses, as well as the nonprofit organizations. I do a lot of work with marine conservation and scuba shops, small retail shops. In the agriculture industry in California, I work with leaders who are, a lot of family-owned farms, smaller operations, and things like that. So we believe that these organizations that are smaller should have access to the same best-in-class material related to learning and leadership development that the big corporations do. So that's our mission. That's why we exist. And you heard a little bit about whom we serve. So we serve leaders and business owners and entrepreneurs, leaders who are in some of these domains that I've mentioned. A vision, and we're going to come back to vision in a little bit and spend most of our time here in this box about vision, but I also wanted you to see how it fits together in the whole picture. So vision is about what do we want to become? If we set this vision of, what do we imagine when we started this business? What do we imagine we could do in the world? What difference can we make? How will the world be different? How will our clientele, those we serve, how will they be impacted as well? So I'll drill into vision a little bit more in a moment because that's our topic for today. I'm trying to set the context for you. So we may get to values a bit as well. I want to be conscious of your time, but values, again, are an outflow. If we have the purpose of X, and then we have the vision, we imagine the vision of Y, then we would operate in a certain way. And that we operate in a certain way, those are our values. And this is where the culture of the organization lives. So how we behave with each other, how we behave in the world, how we interact with other vendors and other suppliers, other people in our industry, other industries, even our neighbors, the delivery people, everyone. How do we interact with the world around us? How do we behave? And if we really believe that we're operating from a place of mission, and we really envision a greater, better future for tomorrow, then how would we behave? And so what are those things that matter most to us? And those reside in our values. That's really what our values are reflective of. And again, like I said, the values form the foundation of our culture. So what we tolerate, what we don't tolerate, what we hold accountable, those are all functions of the values. Of course, most of the business leaders we work with are very familiar with setting goals and objectives. We won't touch on goals and objectives too much today, but I wanted you to know that that's part of this conversation as well. This is how we measure success and how we determine what we'll do next and where we go next and how we grow. And is this business worth keeping open? What are the things we want to be able to accomplish? And then lastly, prioritization. And again, a lot of the small business owners, entrepreneurs that we work with, prioritization is often one of the topics that we talk with people about. And so how do we set priorities? But again, we don't lead with priorities. We prioritize based on these other factors. So why do we exist is going to inform our priorities. What our vision of the future is going to inform our priorities, and how we behave with each other. What are our values? How do we operate? That's also going to inform what priorities we accept and what we might defer, what we might delegate, and what we might say no to. So those are all important parts of strategy as well. All right, so I'm just checking the chat to see if we have any questions, and I'll look at that periodically, so please feel free to drop your questions into chat, and otherwise we'll just continue forward. Okay, so we'll start with mission, because that's where the strategic planning starts. So what is your mission? What is your mission, should you choose to accept it? You get to create it as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a small family-owned operation. You get to set your mission. And those of you who have been in military, law enforcement, first responder type situations tend to be very clear on what we mean by mission. There's a very clear understanding of why are we doing this? What is it we're doing? Why are we doing this? Who are we serving? And what the outcome is. What's the expectation here? So again, the mission statement, and this comes to the question in the chat here about the components of a great mission statement. I'm working toward that. So this is for you. So the mission statement really answers the fundamental questions of what is our purpose? What is our reason for being? What are we here to do day in, day out? Not the administrivia tasks, not the daily task or the operational focus or the, Lean Six Sigma policies and practices and those things. Those are important, but those don't reside in the mission. The mission informs those practices. So what are we here to do? What difference do we make in the world? Whom do we serve? And so whom do we serve? It's frequently people will think of, well, who are my customers? I serve my customers. Well, getting really crystal clear, laser clear on who your customers are, who your clientele are, and who your stakeholders are is critical. And so stakeholders is probably bigger than your customer population. So your clientele, your leads and prospects, who you're developing business with is one thing. But then the bigger circle, the bigger sphere of influence is the stakeholders. So who are as I mentioned earlier, the suppliers, the vendors, the people who deliver your supplies and resources? Who are, if you're in one of the nonprofit agencies that I work with, what are your funding agencies? Who are your donors? Things like that. These people are also stakeholders. So again, here, mission statements should be descriptive, clear, concise, focused on the present, and results driven. And I'll give you that formula that our participant is asking for in just a moment. But we really want to make sure that the mission is focused on the present. Okay. Here's what we do today. And the assumption then is that the vision, which is next, is what we will aim for tomorrow. What I've done is pulled a few examples. You might recognize some of these logos, and I'll move myself out of the way here a little bit. I'll come up here. So these are some of the mission statements that we pulled just from the websites and of these different companies. You might recognize the logos, and I thought it would be helpful to have some examples of different mission statements. So just if you would drop into chat, what do you notice about these mission statements? People sometimes say they're surprised at different statements, different mission statements that companies put out there. Different lengths, absolutely. Sometimes they're wordy. Yeah. I think typically the mission statements don't change over time dramatically. They might expand in scope or compress in scope just to show the laser focused vision that a company is going into in the new year or in the new period of time. So any adjustments that you might see in a mission statement typically is incremental in its changes. You don't have a new mission statement every year because that would sort of undermine your ability to strategically perform as a business. All right, so playing with that a little bit. Again, I have our example, and I put this here on purpose so that you can see our mission is we help leaders create waves of positive change for a better future and for future generations is part of that as well. It's assumed in that future, a better future. So I wanted to share that example. So here's your formula that you were asking for. Here you go. Here's your formula. So making your mission possible. If you already have a mission statement, and you can do this as, I have the brackets here because you might be writing this for your company, but you might also be writing it for yourself, your family, your community group, your community service group, your nonprofit agency, what organization you work with, and so forth. But the formula is really this: we work with, whom do you serve, to achieve what? And that's that what purpose. Yeah, so take a moment, if you would, to just write a draft of that. And if you already have something that you are willing to share, go ahead and drop that into chat as well. If not, you can do this on a separate notepad or a journal or document, whatever. But write it down. We work with whom to accomplish what? Pretty simple formula, and a whole lot more word or fewer words than some of what we saw in the company examples earlier. All right, this question at the bottom says, what else should it include? And so what else do you want people to know in a succinct, clear way that's connected to why your company or your organization exists? What else do you need to include? So again, that better future is what what else, or the future generations, and the language about creating waves of change. Again, I work a lot in the marine conservation and scuba and water sports industries, as well as agriculture. And so water is critically important to both of those types of industries. So having the water imagery is an important part of our business as well. And, we like the ocean. So All right. So once you have your mission statement, then we'll continue forward. Then we're going to look at the vision. So again, this might be why you're here today. So when we look at the vision statement coming out of the mission, this is your opportunity to really think about, where are you going as an organization or in your career or in your personal and professional and community life? We often joke about leaders. If you don't have followers and you don't know the direction you're going, how can people expect to follow you if you don't know where you're going? So this is one of vision is one of the facets of executive presence that we focus on as well in some of our coaching practices. So executive presence, vision is frequently one of those facets, specifically under the substance. So what, as a leader, what do you bring or offer that is unique to the organization and unique to your style of leadership as well? So what do we want to become? A couple of notes here I want you to think about are this idea of an image of an ideal or unique or desirable future state. Frequently, the organizations and the leaders that I work with, when they think about vision, I often will ask them to draw something. Sometimes, and I may ask you to do this right now. In fact, if you would like, if you're listening to this later and you can press pause, do that. Or if not, footnote this for a later activity. But draw a picture. If your organization or your career were a mode of transportation, what would be the mode of transportation? And where is it taking you? And I want you to draw a picture. Maybe close your eyes right now. Let's go ahead and do this as a visualization exercise. So if you close your eyes, what mode of transportation is your career or your business, or your nonprofit organization? And where is that vehicle taking you? Who's driving? What type of transportation is it? Is it in the air? Is it in the water? Is it on land? What's the condition of the pathway? Is it bumpy? Is it smooth? And as you look up at the horizon, where are you going? What do you see there? Who's on the journey with you? What will it be like when you arrive there? What does it smell like? What does it feel like? What's the temperature? What's the climate? Where are you? Where in the universe are you? And how is that different than where you are, where you started? Press pause here to continue your imagination, your envisioning, and draw a picture. Welcome back. I hope that was a useful visualization for you to think about. Where are you taking your organization? Where are you taking your career? Where are you taking your followers? One thing that's important to note here when you're imagining the future of your company, your business, your own career, perhaps, don't focus. A lot of times people will focus on what's not possible and why. Don't think about the barriers. Instead, think about what is possible. If everything were possible, what might you imagine? You can work through the barriers if you can imagine a better future, a better tomorrow. If you can envision that success, you can get there. I think about world-class professional athletes, elite athletes, not just those who get to the big show, but those who excel and win Super Bowls and World Series and, basketball players who make that jump shot. They spend hours and hours and hours visualizing and imagining and practicing. But the visualization is one of those key tools and techniques that world-class athletes use all the time. If they can imagine it, if they can envision it, they can achieve it. And so can you. All right. So with that, I want to round this out by saying vision statements should be specific enough to provide guidance and direction. Where are we headed? But not comprehensive enough to really limit you. Not limiting in terms of what are the barriers and obstacles. So again, remove those barriers and obstacles. Think about what is possible, what is relevant, despite the changing conditions. We all have changing conditions. The world is constantly changing. And so even with all of the changes, even with whatever might be on the horizon that is unknown to you, where do you want to take this organization? Where do you want to take your career, this family, your community, your mission, right? Where do you want to take it? All right. So we just did our visualization. I want to draw your attention now to values, if I could. So I'll ask for you to drop into chat once again. What does the word values mean to you? So we started with our mission. We talked about vision. Now, values is how we behave. Yeah, values are part of culture. That's right. We talked about that earlier. Values are how your culture shows up. I have worked recently with a company, small, growing rapidly, a company that is, sorry about that, work with a company that's growing rapidly. So they're in a high rate of expansion. And when they first formed this business, they said, we want to operate like a family. We want to treat each other like family. And this was part of the culture. Well, now that they're growing, and at the time I was working with them, they had 80 employees worldwide. They started having a different kind of conversation that was, we want to, work together collaboratively. We want to care for each other. We want to show up authentically and truthfully and meaningfully with each other. But we don't want to be family. We no longer want to focus on being family because first of all, not everyone's family is a shiny, happy group of people that work well together without dysfunction. And in fact, I've heard a lot of families over my career say, we put the fun in dysfunction. And, all families have some, crazy aunt or sibling that, and we all have conflicts and complications in our relationships because we're dealing with human beings, and human relationships have complexity. And so, okay, so we're not related in this business, but we still want to operate with the care and compassion and authenticity and truth telling. And so those are our values. So that's one example. I don't know how much that resonates for you, but I wanted to share that with you because we might start by thinking, oh, we want to operate in this way. And then as you grow or expand or things shift and change, maybe you want to revisit that. Okay. So I have an exercise here for you. Thanks. I see also the note in chat. Values are core ideas and beliefs. Yeah, perseverance, equality. Frequently, I see integrity as one of those values as well. So how do we show it? How do we live our values is really what matters. And so I wanted to offer this exercise. And for those of you, I won't walk through this in detail. I will give you the exercise, but really, as there's a list of different types of values that might be some of yours. So as you're just looking at the screen, you can say, what are the, which of these, if you were to, again, press pause and go through to identify which of these are most resonant for you, which of these are most important to you, and then narrow that to 5. And that's really hard. I recognize that. And then what we typically do in our leadership program is we'll then ask you to narrow that to 3. So what are your personal 3 core values? You can do this as a team exercise too, and it's a fantastic way to get to onboard new team members, to foster cohesion in your team, and so forth. Yeah, family, health, faith, absolutely. Yeah, learning, loyalty, courage, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, fun. Fun is a high value for me. Anyone who knows me knows that. Fun and creativity, great respect, absolutely. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so what does it do for you to know these? With the next thing we ask you to typically do is now define those for yourself. What does faith mean to you? What does family mean to you? We have all different shapes and sizes of families these days. Our definitions of families might be very different. So what does that mean to you? All right. So the question I'd like you all to think about next is, how do your values inform your goals? Any thoughts on that? Yeah, absolutely. What matters to you in terms of your values absolutely show up in your priorities and in your goals and objectives. How it's also part of the how we accomplish the goals and objectives. Fantastic. Great. Right. Well, with that, I wanted to wrap up our conversation and say that if you'd like to continue this learning journey, I have for you this self-paced online program that is right here at this link here, learn.bluehorizonsolutions.org. The course name is Visioning and Goal Setting. And normally this is a $19 program, but because you've stuck with me and listened to this video, I wanted to offer it to you. So for the first 10 people who sign up for this e-learning course using the code VIP code VISION, VISION is the code word. For the first 10 people, you'll get this as my gift to you as a free gift. So give us your feedback, let us know what you discover, and continue learning with us. In addition, we have a couple of upcoming workshops that you might want to know about. I'll put myself over here in the corner. So I've referenced our Business Builder Masterclass. We do have a program called Everything DISC, Work of Leaders, and that really drills into the vision, alignment, and execution that leaders are responsible for in your organizations. And then our next free monthly webinar is on strategic alignment. So how do you take this mission, vision, and values that you've been working on today, and how do you take it into your stakeholder engagements and get alignment with your team members, your customers, your vendors, your partners, industry regulators, all of those folks. So how do you gain alignment? And we think that's perfect for February. So we're doing that one on February 7th. So you can sign up at this QR code down here, also at bluehorizon.coach/learn. Our learn page is where all of our scheduled programs for the year, both in person as well as live online webinars, will be hosted. So check it out and let us know if you don't see something there that you're looking for. You'll also see here, I have a couple of different ways we can connect. So these are all of our online spaces. Again, this takes you to the website, this QR code, but check us out. Come connect with us, book your free discovery call with one of our, we have professional credentialed coaches who are, each one has their own domain of expertise. I work with leaders and business owners. Actually, we all work with business owners and leaders, but my colleague Ron has a background in manufacturing and works, his passion is really for managers and supervisors and frontline leaders. And my colleague Rochelle is fantastic. She is a great coach working with career coaching, and specifically she has a heart for those who are transitioning from college into their entry in the career world. So their first job, their first professional post-college job. So check us out, book time with us, drop a note to us, let us know what's on your mind, and we look forward to seeing you in one of our future programs. So with that, I'll say thank you and have a great day.